This is Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Shade 4-5.
Wake your fuck ass up. That cross.
Sway in the morning, Shade 4-5, Heather B. You know, yesterday was our first day of having guests on the show in 2016, right?
Yep.
And then one of the requests I wanted to make, one of the requests I made is, we want to bring people back to the show early on that we consider friends, and people we really admire and that, we really respect.
So we had America Fiera. She came by.
Oh, she's terrific.
She was
she
great.
came yesterday. And then
Christy Alley was yesterday.
Christy Alley came in yesterday. Yeah.
And Emmy Ronson, she made her return.
Yeah, Miss Universe
Miss
came by
Universe.
today. Wanted to meet her.
Yep.
And at the top of my list was the one, the only, the magnificent, the benevolent Deborah Roberts. And she's here with us.
Oh, that's fantastic.
She's here with us today, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, you are so sweet.
Yeah, Deborah, welcome to the show.
Yes.
Thank you. My first time.
It's the first time here.
Yes.
And you know what we had to do? We had to sucker your husband, Al Roker, to get you here.
Yeah,
That's right. And look who she's here with. She's with Eminem.
Exactly.
Oh, come on, man. Don't start off like that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so used to this. It's like, Al, come on, pull it together.
It's just a running gag. Every time I come here, I say, it's Eminem's channel, but I've never met, he's never here.
Al makes a point of saying that to us and reminding us this every day.
I understand.
And which reminds me, because you guys have the book, Been There, Done That, Family Wisdom for Modern Times. And I've read through the book and through many of the chapters because I kind of wanted to know what Al is like behind closed doors.
Me too.
And so,
Whose chapters did you like best?
I like yours. I didn't really read his.
Oh, there you go.
Well, you know what?
That's my approach.
You're just like her. She didn't read mine either.
She didn't read yours either?
I did so, but not everyone, because we actually didn't write the book together, believe it or not.
I didn't.
No. I wrote mine, when I'm traveling in airports and in taxi cabs and whenever I could find time, and you wrote yours
Pretty
when?
much the same way, in the bathroom, and you find that because the idea that we would be in a room together doing this. Like last night, I was sending out an email to somebody, and Deborah's over my shoulder. No, don't say it like that way. No, change that. And I thought,
You misspelled that.
So that's 140 characters.
Yeah.
Well, forget it. So I thought a whole book we will never survive.
Wow.
So we ended up writing it separately, but we came to the same place.
Well, that reminds me of something I read about being a CEO of your household.
Yeah.
That's in the book as well. What does that mean, being the CEO?
Well, it's just basically moms at the end of the day. I don't care how evolved you are. And we have a lot of evolved relationships with dads like Al who are so great and so involved. It all kind of falls on the shoulders of the mom.
Right.
The kids, when they're sick at school and you get who gets the call? I get the call.
This is
Not
true.
because Al is not available. They just call me. The kids want somebody to do something with them. Who do they turn to? It's mom. Or, other moms, when they are trying to organize something, they turn to the mom. So it's sort of like everything falls on the mom's shoulders for the most part, and just organizing the household. I mean, can you imagine the mess Al would be if I don't somehow guide him a little bit more and get him out the door in good shape?
Okay, who put together the calendar?
Okay, you did the calendar.
All
You
right,
did.
We've got a
You
Google
did.
calendar that has the kids' stuff, our stuff, so that because our middle girl was saying, I don't know half the stuff you guys are doing. So I put together a calendar so that we could look at it. Boom, there it is.
But moms are often the conscience of the family too. I mean, Al is a spiritual guy, but I think half the time we wouldn't necessarily go to church
She's the
every
one who
Sunday.
makes us go to church
If
on
I,
Sunday.
didn't say, okay, come on, we're getting up and we're going. Sometimes I force us all to go out for a family walk. That we're going to go and go do this or whatever. And and we do it. So I think moms sort of put things in motion a lot more.
The CEO, this is in this book, Been There, Done That, Family Wisdom for Modern Times.
Deborah just hit it on the head. I just said to Sway and Tracy, I'm married. We don't have any children, though. And I said, I'm mentally married. Like, it's the mental, and that's what it is. Like, my conscience is just the first thing that pops on my brain. And it's not the physical, the sex, because we were talking about if your spouse cheated on you one time, would that be a deal breaker? And for me, it would be. And I've been married quite some time, but it would be a deal breaker for me. While Emmy Ronson, who was just here, she said it wouldn't be a deal breaker for her. She would understand if her husband got drunk one night and got a blowjob and kind of went out.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just so Al shaking his head.
All
Deborah
right.
did
Okay.
the scratch like, oh hell no.
Okay, all right, all right,
Not going to
okay.
say been there, done that.
Yeah, okay. That's a
So
whole
for
other
me,
story.
I was just like, no, it's that mental marriage that binds you first, and it's the conscience. That's my conscience wouldn't allow me to do that. Plus, my husband wouldn't forgive me if I did that.
But when I say the conscience too, though, not just about intimacy, it's sort of like the overall feeling that you want in the family, the overall health of the family. And I don't mean just physical health either, just kind of binding us together. I think moms or the wife or the spouse tends to think a little bit more about the greater good of the family. And not that guys don't,
No, we do.
but I think a lot more about that than you do, don't I?
Well, you tell us about it a lot more.
I tell you about it a lot more. Okay.
So is wife first or mom first?
Oh, that's a very good question. It depends. It depends on what's going on with the kids. I mean,
okay.
I think for Al and me, because we do travel and we're running and gunning, it's husband and wife first sometimes, just because we need some time together. You know, you
Okay.
We
cannot
talk
have
about
that
that in the book.
relationship.
Look, it's very easy, and I know a lot of people out there do it. I'm sure anybody who has kids, it's very easy to forget about each other.
Yeah.
But the reality is, and Deborah's been very good about this, that if you guys aren't good, if we're not good, then we can't be good for our kids. So,
But he has to nudge me about that because I kind of want mom to be first because I'm thinking about the kids. You know, when they want to come into the bedroom and hang out or whatever, Al's like, no, get out.
Okay, let me ask you.
This
When
is
you
our
were
room.
growing
Back
up,
to
how many
physical,
times did
right.
you just walk into your parents' room without knocking?
Right.
I couldn't do that.
Exactly.
I would have you.
Exactly. My thing is, why did we even pay for doors in this house?
Right, they just come in without
What is the
walking.
point?
He gets so upset when he comes in and the kids are sitting on the bed and we're talking and we're laughing. He's like, why are they on my side of the bed? Why
Because
are they
I
in
like
the
the
bedroom?
sheets cool. I
Yeah.
like my pillow cool. I don't want to get into warm sheets. You are warming up my side of the bed.
You just don't want them in there
I
because you
don't.
want to get close to me.
I mean,
That's
it's like
what's happening.
having these 80-pound contraceptives in the bed.
It's true.
And now we got a dog. She's in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's so
She
cute.
is sweet.
The biggest turn off for a man in that situation is having your kid in the room because
I know.
that kind of reminds you of what could happen.
That's exactly
You know what I
what I
mean?
think.
Back to the physical.
Yeah.
End
Thank
result.
you.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
We can open up the phone lines 888-742-3345. Al Roker is here. Deborah Roberts is here. Been there, done that. Family wisdom of modern times. Call us. Sway the morning. Shade 405. Deborah Roberts is here. She brought Al Roker with her.
Yep.
That old ball and chain, you know, what
That's
can I
me.
say?
It's a great book. It's called Been There, Done That, Family Wisdom for Modern Times. Let me go to one of my chapters.
I want to read it. This sounds so good. Like I
hope
love
you
it.
like it.
I love it.
I
Thank
think
you.
you would appreciate chapter 11.
Why so, Sway?
The importance of friendship. Your husband can't be your end all. And this is written by Deborah. And what does that mean? And you talked about Michelle. You brought up Michelle Obama, something you learned from her.
Yeah, well, and throughout the book, I talk a lot about different people I've met, and sometimes they've been celebrities and things that I've learned from them. And when I interviewed Michelle before she was the first lady, we were talking about our husbands, and both of us were in these marriages with busy lives and husbands who were very busy. And she said that she and she had written about this too, that there was a period in her marriage where she was kind of mad with her husband a lot because he was gone a lot and the responsibilities of the children were falling on her. And I used to feel that way about Al. As much as we both travel, when he was traveling a lot more than I was dealing constantly with all the stuff at home. And he would come home and I would feel angry. And she said she realized at that point, and especially for the health of her marriage, that, your husband, everything can't be wrapped up in your husband. You've got to have great girlfriends. You've got to have that outlet because he doesn't want to hear all that stuff that you want to dwell on all the time anyway.
Especially when it's about me.
Especially when it's about you. And so I really realized that. And now when I'm having a rough time or just on the weekends sometimes, I just make dates with girlfriends or a bunch of us get together. And that releases, we all let go. We have a lot of the same complaints sometimes about our guys, but in a healthy way. Let it go. And you know what? I think it's so much healthier. Yeah.
So what is it like for you two working in and around the same field, like in the same profession?
Well, for the most part, first of all, when we're home, we don't even really talk about it. It's more about the kids and what we're doing and what are we doing this weekend and what did we forget?
Yeah.
Who's got
We forget a lot.
What test or whatever. But there was one time because look, I do weather and cartoony type stuff, and Deborah does real journalism. But there was one time when Whitney Houston passed away, and you got an interview,
a big interview
with a female superstar who knew Whitney, and
we can't say who. Oh, okay.
We
It
didn't
was
say in
just
the book.
it was
Okay.
just somebody who, a big
Okay.
singer.
Okay.
And I got the interview, and I was so excited because it was going to be a big deal for me. And this person did an about face and decided she wanted to do the interview with Al. Now, Al was not even seeking the interview, so suddenly we're going head to head over this interview.
Wow.
And I was furious because I report for 2020, and the program was going to be on Friday, and this was like Wednesday. And I said, "You've got to be kidding!" And I begged and pleaded, "No." But she wanted to do the interview with Al. She'd interviewed with Al once before, and I said to Al, "You can't do it. You cannot do this interview." I was supposed to, and Al said, "Well, don't put me in this position." And we went back and forth like this for a couple of days. I was.
I mean, I
really
even went to
angry.
at the interview. I said, "I'm begging. If you got to do one interview, you can just back out of my interview and interview Deborah."
Which
Yeah.
I didn't
with
know,
Deborah.
and that melted my heart that he did that. He
loves
threw
you
himself on the sword.
Well, I just figured, look, that's not my bread and butter. That's not usually my wheelhouse or my lane. It's
but I'm sure NBC didn't love that you would do that.
They
but
weren't, but in the end, it didn't matter because she still did it. But what was great and what speaks volumes about Deborah is that she then just after getting upset, she dug in and worked the phones and actually found another great interview that really made her peace.
BB Winans.
Oh,
BB.
oh, you hit
BB.
that out the park.
And I hit it out of the park and didn't even realize it until I started talking to him, and he had all these great memories
stories,
about
yeah.
Whitney, and he was fantastic. So I wound up with a terrific interview. But what we learned is that at the end of the day, interviews will come and go, big gets will come and go, but our relationship is what we want to be enduring.
Well, that's beautiful, man. Do y'all ever have conflict? In
Oh,
Portland?
that was
Is it
conflict.
always so?
Yeah,
that
there
was
a lot of
conflict? Yeah.
Oh
conflict.
my gosh!
That's
A
competitive.
lot of this
too.
stuff is like, hindsight now, 2020. When we're going through the stuff, it's very difficult. But we have learned some lessons, and that's what the book really is about. We still go through stuff.
Deborah, let me ask you a question because Al, you've shared some really personal stories about your dad with us, and and then we watched you go through a transformation on camera and got your health together and got into a better place, and then all of a sudden the unexpected happened.
What?
Al Roker became a sex symbol. Right?
You jealous, Sway? You jealous?
Nah, that's my homie, man. That's cool. All right. And I'm sure you start getting a lot more attention. Was that ever an issue?
No, I wouldn't say it was an issue, but I will say it was different when people started commenting on Al's looks and his appearance and his suits, and he looked so great. And every now and again, somebody would stop me at an airport and say, I have to tell you. And I'm waiting for them to say, I loved your report last night. And they go, Al looks so great this morning. I was like, no, you did not. No, you did not.
So when he started, it's really saying, Al.
My man, Al.
But I'm secretly very proud.
Yes.
Very
Nice,
proud.
they're very good.
Al.
You like that? All right.
Very good. Little shout out there.
Al always notices our special effects. Angel's on the line from Vegas. Angel, good morning. How are you?
Angel.
Good morning. I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing
Great.
well, thank you. Say hello to our guest.
Hi, Angel.
Hi.
Hi.
I had a question for you, Deborah. How you made the comment that, you feel like you're the consciousness for your family. You're the one that, says, let's get up, let's go to church, let's do this, let's do that. Do you feel that weighs heavy on you? I mean, like, when do you feel that, maybe he should take the role doing that?
Well, yeah, it weighs heavily like it does on any woman in any family. And I'm blessed because I've got a husband who is so actively involved with the family. I mean, there are times when I take off on an assignment and Al, it may be for the weekend, and Al is there with the kids and he takes care of everything. And friends ask me, Al, you didn't have your babysitter? You mean Al was there? So Al absolutely is there and pitches in. But on those broader things like, making sure everybody's eating nutritiously, making sure that, the kids are getting enough exercise. Is my daughter signed up for art? Because, I think art would be good for her this semester. Mm-hmm. I think about those things probably a little more than Al does because probably like a lot of guys, he thinks, it's all good. Leave it alone. We don't need to push that hard. I'm a little bit more, of a pusher that way, I think, in trying to create, a broader and bigger experience for the family.
She's the human suggestion box. Deborah feels that everybody appreciates suggestions. And as my daughter writes in the book, she said, Mom, everybody doesn't want to hear suggestions.
I give them tips. I give cab drivers
People don't
tips.
want tips.
I give
the only
people
tip
grocery
they
store
want
tips.
is something when you swipe your card.
But I just think moms tend to do that. And, like any other mom, I think it just sort of falls to me a lot. But my husband does a lot, though.
I was looking at this interaction you wrote with the Layla.
Leela.
Mm-hmm. And you guys, what is this part of the book? When I came to this part, it's a part of the book where you see Leela's writing something. You guys, is it a conversation?
It's kind of a conversation we had. See, here's the deal. We have, as different as we are, where we really are different is on our driving styles.
Yeah.
I am a little more laid back. People want to jump in. I guess I've had, unfortunately, 2 really bad car accidents that were not my fault. Mm-hmm. But so I've said, you know what? You want to go? Please be my guest. Go right ahead. Deborah, on the other hand, who when she first came to New York, 22 years ago, was like, oh my God. I mean, she was afraid to get in a cab. Uh-huh. Now, you get her on Lexington Avenue, she's like Mario Andretti. She's wearing a flame retardant jumpsuit. Go faster, move, do it, make that light.
That bad.
And so I have finally. So this is a conversation we have about our different driving.
And the
skills.
kids kind of agree that I drive a little better, though.
Yeah,
they do.
Well, sure. Who doesn't like a thrill ride? It's like being like on the test track at Disney.
Deborah, I'm like, I don't foresee marriage in my near future. I eventually want to, head over there. But a lot of times me and my girls, when we're having conversations, just visualizing our partners, we'll start prioritizing the qualities we want in a man. And we'll toss like some out there in like a little bag where sense of humor, looks. I want somebody who has the spirit of a man I want to marry, but the face of a guy I would cheat with.
Oh,
that's
I love
my job.
that.
But then my number one quality I'm looking for in a guy is leadership. But I'm wondering for yourself, back when you were a bachelorette and you were thinking, okay, what's my list of qualities in what order? What were your top 3?
It's very funny. Al and I make jokes about this all the time because when we first met, he was like an unlikely guy for me to date.
Huh.
I
Why
like
you say
guys.
that?
Well, because I like guys who, I'm a big jogger. I'm a fitness buff. And I like guys who were like into fitness and so forth with me. Al was not so much when I met
Obviously.
him. Okay. He was not. I like guys who are a little bit more serious and corporate, that kind of thing. Al was not. He's Mr. Jokester, Mr. Happy-go-lucky weather guy. Mm-hmm. But I also did want a guy who was very much into family, which Al was.
Yeah.
So those were 3 things. But what I learned over time, and Al and I were good friends, and I was dating guys who met some of these other priorities. Mm-hmm. After a while, it just somehow maybe things weren't working out or they didn't somehow measure up in some other areas. And after a while, I turned around and I thought, you know what? I've got this guy in my life who is so fantastic. And I'm blinded by what I think my priorities are. But this is a pretty good guy. You know, maybe I ought to think twice about this and actually go out with him after he's asked me for like the 50th time.
I tell all of our single female friends, I said, don't go for the good-looking guy because eventually that's going to fade. They're going to lose it. The looks are going to go. Go for somebody like kind of a fixer-upper. They start like.
But you always say that Al always says, but Deborah, you lucked out pretty well because a lot of women are with guys who look great, and over a few years things somehow fell apart. They got a paunch. He goes, in my case,
I went just the opposite. I started bad and finished up looking good.
There it is. Al Roker, Deborah Roberts are here. Before you guys go, we have Deborah. You've yet to do this. I'm not sure. Did Al do this before? I think Al. No. We got something we call the mystery sack.
Oh.
And we don't know where these questions come from.
Uh-oh.
But they end up in the sack.
They just show up?
They just show up, Al. And so, you guys, we want you to stick your hands in my sack.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead
a long way to go for that.
and reach in.
Dig deep, dig deep.
Put your hands into Sway's sack.
That sounds gross.
It's Sway's Mystery Sack on Shade 45.
We're going to break it down really simply.
What I like about that, though, is it's subtle.
You never saw it coming, right?
I was wondering what this was.
Yeah, the little mystery sack. Al, Deborah, we have questions in here. Deborah, you're going to dig in first. Ladies first, and answer it. You have to read it out loud. Answer honestly.
I don't have my glasses on,
Two
so let's
each.
see here.
Okay.
Name a time you had to undermine your spouse when disciplining the kids. Oh, wow. That's a
I
hard
don't
one,
know
but
that you have.
I have.
Okay,
I'm
there
sure
you
I have.
And there you have
I
it.
know. I actually know I have.
It took Sway's sack to find a sack of truth.
You know what? Well, I'm pretty sure I told the kids something about you once. I can't remember any particular thing.
I was in prison.
But I told them something about you that I probably shouldn't have told them when I was in the middle of, maybe disciplining Leela. Honey, listen, Dad just
Twilight Zone is
Dad can be just a little bizarre sometime. And let me tell you, one time, blah, 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 blah. I don't remember what, but I think I have done it before.
Al, your
Just one
moment of
time-
truth.
I plead
Just one
guilty.
time, Dad killed a guy.
No, not that bad.
All right.
I talked about maybe your eating habits. I think I probably said something about
okay.
your eating habits.
Looking at what Camille Cosby is going through and standing by Bill Cosby, what advice would you give her? Boy, I don't know. I can't even imagine it. Just to live your truth. Be as you've got to face your truth. I guess I can't even imagine what that would be like.
Okay.
Live
good.
your
Yeah.
truth. That's real.
Al had to pick the
Uh-oh.
one hard question.
We're doing, we're doing another one?
Wow, very deep in Sway's sack.
Oh, since I didn't answer so adequately, so I've got another one now. What's the worst argument you've had with each other? It might very well be that one, right? We had a pretty bad argument when we were that interview when we were fighting over the career.
That was tough.
Al and I have a lot of fights. I mean, we really bicker all the time.
The Beckersons.
But they're like silly little things, and then we
Right.
usually look at each other and go, you know what? It may be the next day, but you know what? This is ridiculous.
Even Nikki, our son on the cover, we are sitting back to back with notepads, and our son said, "Why are you arguing on the book?"
You're backs to each other.
It does look like you
He
guys are
assumes that
arguing.
we're arguing.
Look at that.
But I think that's the healthy part of our relationship because we get a lot of things out, and we've learned through, and we talk in the book about couples therapy. We've learned to talk and how to talk better to each other because I think that at the core of so many arguments, it's not about what's going on between you two at the moment. It's about what's going on individually for you, what you've been through, what that baggage is, how you're experiencing what your spouse said because of what your stuff is, and we've learned through therapy how to deal with some of that, and also how to sort of consider each other a little more.
Therapy, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think more guys would be willing to go to therapy if the therapist actually wore a ref shirt and had a whistle.
Yeah, right. 'Cause that's what
And
it's like.
threw a flag. It's like, I think that would work out a lot better. Is there a Purell after I've been handling Sway sack?
Yeah, absolutely, man. We got some Clorox. You got one more question now.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You get one more.
So I shouldn't use the Purell
Don't use
just
it yet. It might get dirtier.
Because I get stings.
Yeah,
then,
or sticky.
Excellent work. Thank you
This
so
is
much.
fun. I like this. We should do this at home, Al. We should play this game more.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your wife/husband in the bedroom? At least.
What?
How would you rate your wife?
So if it's you,
your
it's
wife.
your wife.
It would be my
honey.
wife.
Yeah,
I know.
Exactly,
I just,
exactly.
I
was kind of worried there for a second.
Yes.
Wow.
Depending on the clothes she wears that night. No, sorry. I would just have to say a 12.
Oh, you
Wow.
are lovely. You're gonna get
go,
lucky
Deborah.
tonight. You're getting lucky tonight.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Great answer, Al.
There
Thank you.
go.
Thank you.
The book has been there, done that. Family Wisdom for Modern Times. Al Roker and Deborah Roberts. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you.
Deborah, you officially a citizen.
A swing
I
in the
love it.
morning.
Can I come back? Can
Yeah,
I come back?
anytime.
That's right. Next time when you come back, they're going to have Eminem sack.
Come on.
He's fighting hard to get us fired. I swear he is. All right, we're going to take your comments on today's show, 888-742-3345. Give us a call.
It's Sway in the morning, only
On Shea 45.